Xiao was stunned and excitedly thought, if it were a travel check, maybe they could turn the situation around, but Muto wasn't interested in that trouble. Xiao thought money was important, and seeing Muto's worried face made him laugh out loud. Sorry, but Yutun sounds like a classic drama. I almost offered you a cup of tea. It's their first encounter. Muto, like a detective, told of the missing money. They hit it off. Xiao found Matsuno a nice guy and shared his stories, even about his junior high graduation trip. During the conversation, Xiao realized that Muto wasn't a bully, he just spoke Tokyo dialect, which sounded like an argument. Who would have thought? Your thoughts are so delicate. This is the first time someone said I sound like I'm arguing. Do I really sound like I'm fighting? Yeah, everyone thinks so, but speaking of which, during the winter break, he saw Xiao working hard, so had probably saved up quite a bit now. He then asked Xiao to lend him some, and seeing this, Xiao had no choice but to agree, leading him to a less crowded spot. Xiao then pulled out a strange sock from his waist and ended up lending him all his savings. Before leaving, Muto warned him not to spill the beans, but as soon as he left, Matsuno came up. Xiao blurted out everything about the money, exposing that his bro had sold him out. It turned out that during the winter break, he happened to bump into Muto at a restaurant and casually asked if he wanted to watch a movie. Surprised but walking together, they had no topics to discuss, so they talked about Xiao's job as they passed by where he worked. To his surprise, they lost the money during the trip, leaving Matsuno bewildered while Muto angrily searched for him at the gathering. He said they wouldn't talk about it. Why did he immediately tell Matsuno? What happened? He asked me if I needed to borrow money, saying he could lend me something if I needed, right? What kind of boy is this generous? In the end, I had to borrow 20,000, really giving me a headache. Who knew a guy could talk so much? The new semester served me a great lesson. When classes were assigned, I ended up in the same class as Muto. It was like winning the lottery. Lucky me, Muto finally made a good friend, though Xiao knew me studying and looks weren't exactly outstanding. The two quickly became best buds until the 4th week of the new semester, when Muto had yet to mention borrowing money. Xiao was home sulking, worried Muto might have forgotten, when he suddenly heard the phone ring downstairs. It was Xiao Yumi calling. She told him that she had been tricked by Muto. They were supposed to go to Osaka for a concert, but he took her to Tokyo instead. Xiao's heart raced, and he decided to check things out at the airport, realizing that the lost money was just a ruse. Muto had long been planning the Tokyo trip, while Yumi felt uneasy realizing his intentions, as if victory was just around the corner. And this Tokyo trip, Muto hadn't told anyone, and just then he returned from the restroom, stunned to see Xiao. Xiao, what's going on? How come you're here? Did you call Yumi here? Well, going to Tokyo is okay, but don't lie. Discuss it with your mom. If mommy finds out, she'll definitely not let me go, so I had to plan for so long. Seeing him like that, Xiao was a little puzzled and asked Yumi to call home first. When she learned she didn't have to go to Tokyo, she was as happy as a lark. She had always been a good girl, even planning to follow her mom everywhere. But now, even if it's her time of the month, she insists on going to Tokyo. If you feel scared about going there alone, do you want me to accompany you? Really? He'll really want to go with me. It was only after getting on the plane that Xiao realized how impulsive his decision was. On the way, they chatted enthusiastically, especially on Muto's Tokyo campus life, and soon reached his father's. A woman's voice came from the door, causing Muto's previously cheerful face to darken instantly. Is this the Muto residence? Yes. Is my dad home? The child from the Lai family has arrived? I'll be right down. Wait for me in the hall. The sudden situation made Xiao shush as Muto's dad came down the elevator. Seeing his daughter rush to Tokyo, their father couldn't help but worry for her well-being, while Muto enthusiastically introduced Xiao. Xiao was left with no choice but to stand and greet him. Now, Muto just wanted to see his room. His dad warmly welcomed his daughter and kindly booked the hotel for Xiao. He also repaid Mutos' borrowed money, and on the way to the hotel, Xiao felt Mewtwo was pretty pitiful for the first time. But to be fair, Mutos' dad was loaded. That night, Mom suddenly called Xiao to come for dinner. Upon hearing her son was in Tokyo, Mom thought it was a joke. He was home in the morning and suddenly in Tokyo at night. Just then, someone knocked on the door. Worried his mom might panic, he hurriedly said he'd explain later, but opened the door to find Mewtwo bursting in. Mewtwo rushed in angrily, throwing himself into Xiao arms and sobbing loudly, leaving Xiao completely speechless. This sudden situation seemed straight from a TV drama, leaving Xiao at a loss, so he could only comfort. After Mewtwo was taken away by his mom, his dad renovated everything in the house. Everything had changed around here. Most importantly, my room's wallpaper was changed to dark green. Green is totally my nemesis.